everybody, I'm Madam Joyce from Educare TZ. I'm teaching biology, and today I'll be with you to discuss our topic, which is the simplest topic. It is called the coordination and irritability. And here, my students, we are going to focus to look at our subtopic, which is the nervous coordination in mammals. So here we are discussing on the nervous coordination in mammals. So before we are proceeding further to look in our main concern in our today's session, we have to remind ourselves on where we end on the last session. It's where now we try to look on the type C of the neurons, that is based on the structure and the functions. We have seen almost 3 types of the neuron. The first one we have seen that is the sensory neurons. The second one, the relay neuron or interneuron. And the last we finalize to look on the motor neurons and their structure in general. So my students, in our today's session also we are going to see the structure, the type C of the neurons. Remember, we have 2 classifications of the types of the neurons. That is based on the structure and the function that we have already covered on the previous session. But also we have to see the type C of the neurons. But this is a classification of the neurons based on the number of the dendrites neurons. That is based on the number of dendrites neurons. The dendrites are located nearby the cell body, or we can say that is soma. So pale baada ya soma there is many branches. Zile branches ambazo zinatokea kwenye ile cell body ndizo ambazo tunaziita dendrites. So we have a lot of types of these neurons based on the number of neurons. So now we can say that classification of the neurons based on the number of the dendrites neurons can be classified on the basis of the number of the dendrites arising from the soma or from the cell body. So hapa tutaenda kuclassify hizi neurons based hizi nerve cell based on the number of dendrites. Kwa maana kwamba pale kwenye cell body there is how many number of dendrites. Kama ziko 2, kama ziko 1, so we're going to classify. So one after another. And now we can say that in this classification there are 3 main types of the neuron. So based on the number of dendrites, we have also 3 types of the neurons. And the first type here, it is called the unipolar neuron. And the second type, it is called the bipolar neuron. And lastly, it is called the multipolar neurons. So all of those, they are types of neurons. So don't be confused when you have been asked into your exam that explain the types of the neuron. Hilo ni swali linakuwa generally. Unatakiwa sasa uanze kutaja kuanzia zile types of neuron based on the structure and function, and then you're going to finalize by looking on these types types of the neuron based on the number of dendrites. Lakini sasa akikucommand akuambie kwamba uelezee only based on the number of dendrites is where now here we are going to clarify, starting from the first unipolar to multipolar neurons. So now we are going to start to look the first type of neuron based on the number of dendrites from the cell body or from the soma. And the first one, it is called the unipolar neurons. So we have to know what is this unipolar neuron. Here we are saying that unipolar neurons have the single short dendrite terminating onto the bush-like tuft or dendrites. These are found in the granular cells of the cerebrum or cerebellum. So hizi unipolar neurons tunasema hapa kabisa they have short dendrites. Kwa maana kwamba ile dendrite ambayo inatokea kwenye cell bodies inakuwa ni vifupi afu vinakuwa vingi. So and also tunasema kwamba they are terminated on the bush-like tufts or dendrites. So they are found within the granular layer of the cerebellum or cerebellum. So hizi zinapatikana within the brain. Remember, within the brain is where now we have different parts of the brain. Kwa hiyo sasa hizi ambazo tunaziita unipolar neurons, they are located within the brain, specifically on the structure that is cerebellum, is where now you can find these unipolar neurons. So when you are explaining the type of the neurons, make sure that you indicate the location of these neurons. And that is a real meaning of a unipolar neuron. And after we have seen now unipolar neuron, also we have another type of neuron, and this is bipolar neurons. So what is this bipolar neuron? And here we are saying that these bipolar neurons are sensory neurons that have two processes coming from the cell body, a dendron and one axon. Kwa maana kwamba hizi bipolar neurons tumesema kwamba zenyewe tunaziita ni sensory neurons. Tunaziita sensory neuron. Kwa sababu gani? They have two processes coming from the cell bodies, one dendron and one axon. And you know what is sensory neuron? Inakuwa na one axon. Axon inakuwa ndefu na pia inakuwa na one dendrite. Inakuwa na one dendron. Is where now the dendrites they are located. Zile dendrites zimetokea kwenye structure ambayo inaitwa dendron. Kwa hiyo sasa mfano mzuri wa bipolar neurons, the way it expresses itself, that bi meaning that it has two dendron, is where now the dendrites they are located. And also we can say that bipolar sensory neurons are found in the retina of the eye, ganglia of the vestibular cochlea, nerves, and the olfactory epithelium. So now also we can say the location. Where is it located? These bipolar neurons. The bipolar neurons here, we are saying that bipolar neurons are found within the retina of the eye. Ndani ya jicho kuna structure ambayo inaitwa retina. Ndani ya retina is where now these bipolar neurons are located. And not only within the eye, also in the ganglia of the vestibular cochlear nerves. Ndani ya sikio, inner part of the ear, is where now these bipolar neurons are located. And also they are located on the olfactory epithelium, that is within the nose, is where now these bipolar sensory neurons are located. So and that is the bipolar neuron in general. But also we have another, the last type of this type of the neurons based on the number of dendrites. We have that is multipolar neurons. The third type, it is called the multipolar neurons. So also we have to know what is these multipolar neurons and where are they located. And the way it expresses itself, that is multi. Multi meaning that those dendron or those dendrites, they are many. So now let's see the meaning of this now. Here we are saying that multipolar neurons have 3 or more processes that coming from the cell body. Kwa hii inamaanisha kwamba ndani ya ile cell bodies kunakuwa na different kinds of dendrons that are live from the soma. Na ndio maana tunaita multi, meaning that there is a lot of kuanzia number 3 na kuendelea. Kwa inaweza ikawa 20, inaweza ikawa 100 and so on. Kwa sasa hizo ni namba zilizokuwepo nyingi zaidi kwenye ile cell body. And here remember we are talking about the number of dendrites. So the number of dendrites which are located from the cell body or from the soma, they are many. And now we can say that they possess 1 axon and 2 or more dendrites. This structure that is multipolar possess only 1 axon, but they contain a lot of dendrites. Hizi dendrites ambazo zinatokea kwenye axon, zinazotokea kwenye cell body, they are many, lakini inakuwa na axoni moja. na hiyo ndio tofauti kati ya hii multipolar na zile bipolar na ile pamoja tunaita unipolar. Since this multipolar, it possesses a lot of these dendrites, and it has only one axon. So now we can say that this multipolar neurons see from the major part of the central nervous system. They include interneurons and motor neurons. So tukija kuongelea hii multipolar neurons, tutaongelea motor neurons pamoja na interneurons. So when we are talking about interneurons, that means the tukiongelea ile multipolar neuron, tunaongelea interneuron, that is the relay neuron or connector neuron, ndio ambayo inakuwa na many neurons or dendron or dendrites in general, lakini inakuwa na one axon. We're going to see later on in the next part of this session the figure 4.6 that will explain all the structure which are found within the neurons. So in this session it ends here, but in the second part of this session is when we're going to see the figure that will explain the types of the neuron based on the number of dendrites. So thank you for your attention.